So today is a gym day. I'm going to walk you through what I do on a day like this, the kind of exercises I do and the different movements in my lead up to cross. We're now just under 2 weeks away from the first race, so it's getting pretty close already, but no, gym's really important in my training, and I'll show you what I do in a normal gym session. So we'll start with the warm-up. It's about a 10-15 minute cycle to get to here, so that kind of warms me up quite well. But to loosen off the rest of the body, I do skipping, 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off for about 4 sets. That kind of wakens me up even more. Then I've got monster walks, which are with the band around my feet, and I walk on all 4 planes, so front, back, and then both ways, side to side. They're really hard, they really get you in your glutes. But they're really good kind of mobilizing kind of exercise. And then I've got kind of mobilization stretches, so kind of lunges to kind of open out my hips and also to open out my front as well and my back. Then the final part of my warm-up is TRX pulls just outside, front and back, it's just body weight, so you can kind of, and the way you put the angle, you decide basically how hard you push. Then moving on to the main set, I start with face pulls. So that's with a blue band, and you basically just pull up to your face really nice and high and try and keep the elbows high, and that really opens out the back and starts to work all of these muscles around here. So yeah, that's the first one in my main set. So the next exercise is an overhead press with a band. So the band goes around your feet, and then you start in kind of front squat position, and you just overhead press all the way up with the band. I find the banded exercise is really good because they kind of, there's no dead spot. You really need to keep holding the tension of the band all the way up and all the way down, and you can kind of change how hard it is with the reps and also how kind of stiff the band is. Then I do rotator cuff, so it's basically just on your side with a weight. I usually use about 5 kilos, and you just kind of extend out, and it really works your kind of rotator cuff around here. That's really good for kind of holding strong, also in crashes as well. Like these, you don't want these giving out really. And yeah, you're less likely to kind of get a shoulder injury. So front rack split squat, I basically hold 2 kettlebells up right on my chest, and it's just kind of a split squat back. So you just step back and squat down into it, and it really works. It's the kind of the split squat stuff's really good because it's really good for knee stability. So it just isolates that knee, and it makes it work really hard. So I'm getting a lot stronger through the knee and through the kind of midline with that, because I'm just a little bit off balance. And you can change the weight of that obviously, so you can kind of really kind of isolate those muscle groups. The reverse lunge pass is quite a dynamic one. You do a reverse lunge, so you step back and then you pass a kettlebell underneath your knee while you're doing it. And you just keep doing that, and it really, you've got to hold yourself quite tight, and the shift, it works really well for cyclocross because there's a lot of kind of one-legged stuff, like when you're dismounting the bike and you've got a weight transfer onto that left foot, and then you go into running, and then when you're jumping back on, and then there's off cameras, you've got to really hold on one side of your core. So the reverse lunge, kind of the passing of it, can kind of put you off balance, and but the aim is to be really smooth with it and to drive really well on the way back up. And yeah, I find it quite a good exercise. Then I've got 2 bigger exercises. So I've got back squat with 40 kilos. I do 3 times 8, so 3 sets of 8 sets, 3 sets of 8 reps. And on these, the focus is never really being the big weight. So it's just to get that good movement and a good bit of kind of range of movement and a good push back up, just to kind of simulate that kind of that drive, like out of a corner on the start, really strong from the core and through the glutes. And then we also do deadlift, so similar kind of stuff. It's about nice, strong, solid movement, and that's with the same weight. No big kind of emphasis on big weights here, but 3 sets of 8 reps. Then kettlebell row is kind of an upper body exercise. You're really just pulling really nice and tight, and holding your chest nice and strong all the way through the movement. Then the last one of the main set is Suitcase Walk. So it's a good exercise for me. It's kind of a loaded exercise. So the the way we do it, you can do it lots of different ways, but we do it with a big 12 kilo kettlebell on one hand, and then in your other hand maybe 10 or 12 kilos, and you hold that in a weighted position. So you hold it nice and high up with a right angle, with two right angles, and you walk kind of 20 meters one way, turn around, switch arms and walk back. And you've just got to really you get quite fatigued on this, but you got to really focus on keeping the arm up, and it basically works all around here. And because you've got the kind of counterbalance and really heavy weight on the other end, it works through your midline as well. So I think that I'm going to benefit a lot from that. So the last part of the session is a little bit of core work. Obviously through the main set you do work your midline a lot, but the last bit is kind of specific on that. So we've got bag drag, so it's in a plank position, dragging through underneath your body, and they get quite fatiguing, especially at this part of the session. Like maybe be like an hour and a half in, but the kind of focus is on keeping a really good plank position, and yeah, dragging that bag through for 3 sets of 10 pulls. And the very last exercise is the Alenka. So you lie backwards on the bench with maybe a 5 kilo dumbbell in your hand, in both hands, and then on your feet just something flat to keep your legs kind of horizontal, and you just extend all the way back and out and then back in. It's absolute killer, and you'll be feeling it for days after. So I do 3 sets of 10 of that, and that's pretty much it. So I do a little stretch and a roll to warm down, and then that's me. So for this type of session, it's relatively loaded. Like it's a full body workout, like a lot of arm, shoulder, and then down into legs and glutes. So it's definitely full body, and I definitely feel it the day after. Today, most gym days I do a double day, so I do go for a run in the afternoon, but it's only about half an hour, 40-minute run, and with just a bit of stair running to kind of just keep it with that kind of glute activation. But I don't find them, I've been running for the last kind of month or so I don't find them too taxing now. They were definitely really hard at the start, just like a gym and run on the same day. The day after you feel it, but I have a rest day tomorrow, so it's important to kind of get the quality out of this, and then I can recover tomorrow and just eat lots of food and get back on it. That being said, yeah, the main thing to focus on for all of these exercises is quality. I'm not quite pushing to failure on these. Like we're only 2 weeks away from the season, so it's about just getting the quality, getting what we want out of it, and then kind of moving on. So yeah, it's all good. So I hope you enjoyed that little rundown of what a kind of normal gym session would look like for me. Let me know down below what you think and what you want to see next. As I say, we're not very far out from the season now, so things are really about to kick off, and I'm hoping that all of this work and all of my other work is gonna pay off, and we can see how we get on. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.